Orchestra organized a lecture series which aimed to bring music closer to an especially interested audience. In the style of Oskar Kokoschka's Salzburg School of Seeing, a school for the ear was established, a meeting place where people from many kinds of artistic backgrounds can get together and reach new heights of awareness. The starting point was the active listening in order to experience sound, silence, melody, harmony, rhythm, and more. On this third day, famous composer and conductor Pierre Boulez was invited to hold the lecture and conduct the orchestra.
In the case of Pierre Boulez, I thought it would be very, very useful and important for them to come in contact with him, because not only he is a wonderful conductor, but he is a composer, and a great composer as that. And therefore, I thought he would bring the musicians into contact with the process of actually inventing the music. And this is, of course, exactly what he did. And I'm very happy and very grateful that he did that, because he provided them with an experience that they will never forget. And it gave them the opportunity to play, of course, with a different conductor. And I think he himself enjoyed it very much too. He's a very curious human being. Curiosity is really what has kept him going throughout his life. And he put this curiosity at the service of this encounter. So I think it can be said that it was positive for all concerned.
When I worked for the orchestra for the first time, I was amazed at the reality of the preparation and the level of the achievement already. So it was work really like exactly for a professional orchestra who is very sure of what it is doing. So therefore, I mean, I was very impressed by the level of the musical expertise, and with the commitment of these people to play the best they could. There was a kind of getting accustomed to my type of gestures. I mean, with Daniel, we have a different way of conducting, which is happy, as a matter of fact, because if everybody would do exactly the same, it will be just boring. But I mean, certainly they adapted very quickly, because I saw at first they were accustomed to a slower tempo for the first piece of Bartok, for instance. And then at first, you know, I had to tell them, maybe you have played that a little slower, but I mean, I prefer to have a quicker tempo, not so very much quicker, but a little quicker forward. You know, I don't conduct with a baton, but I conduct also with the hand. And also they had to get accustomed to that. And so, but I mean, it took maybe a quarter of an hour, that's all. And then after that, there was no problem of whatsoever. That's not a class of composition today, but that's more or less a class of performing. Because these pieces are not the most complicated than Bartók has written, but I mean, they are very interesting because that's the first orchestral pieces of Bartók where the personality of Bartók is very obvious. And there are no really specific problems, but there are problems generally which one is not familiar with. And I would like, you know, to take some examples of things which seem simple and are not that simple to realize. Therefore, I will give these examples and work on them like I work with the orchestra, because that's the best way of doing. You know, the problem with conducting, that's exactly to know a score and to transmit the score by very simple means. Because if you begin to philosophize about the thing and finally you have the question, do I have to play louder or less loud? And that's exactly my approach always. I know the problem, but I try to simplify the problem that it comes always in not technical terms, but in immediate terms of performing. So you have to have in your head, that's exactly the part of the conductor, you have to have in your head what you want, how you are analyzing the phrase, what their meaning is, and then after that you can transmit what you want by a very simple louder, less loud, more legato, less legato, and so on and so forth. I begin with the first piece, and I will tell you after how I rehearsed them and why I rehearsed them this way. Just from the beginning, number one. So just the beginning, you see there is only a big phrase which is developing, and I begin to rehearse with the piano and the harp, and you will know why. I would like to have the piano and the harp at the very beginning. Just these two bars. When these two bars are good, then I can be sure that the orchestra is aware of the tempo. And because you hear, the tempo is a very